Yes, I changed the title because breaking just this morning, Leticia James is in big hot water. All this time, she has been AG of New York. She has listed her principal residence as for her house in Virginia. She got a more favorable loan title by listing her house in Virginia as her primary residence. She owns a, I guess it's called a, would be called a five flat in New York City, and she listed it as a four flat. That means all this time she has not been paying the right amount of property tax. She's in big trouble. She's in really big trouble. And while Rachel Madcow, as I call her, is a horrible human being, right? She needed Trump to lose so that she could keep on grifting. And another thing she's in trouble for, she took personal trips and had her campaign pay for her a private jet. That is flatly illegal. Yeah, that was what I was going to originally talk about until I turned on the TV this morning and they were talking about Leticia and how that this is a career ender for her because each one of those fraud counts carries a 5-year prison term. Then he had a whistleblower on this morning, and he said each one of those fraud counts, which he said there are at current 8 of them, yeah, she married her father to get the married rate for the loan. That's just disgusting. I mean, I know there's a lot of girls with daddy issues, but it's not that kind of problem, if you know what I mean. This is, you know, and so many people are cheering because of her arrogance. When she was going against Trump, she would take and we'll seize his buildings if he can't afford to pay. If he's that broke, well, you know what? Karma's a bitch because this will not go to the New York State Court. This will go to federal court, and Pam Bondi will get to choose where it gets filed at. I had words with JR yesterday, but it'll be all right. Yeah, Pam Bondi does a lot of talking, but behind the scenes, her people are doing. Yesterday, she announced like the third drug bust this week, and she was right there on the scene. Merrick Garland never did that. He never went out to the scene to show support for his people. Right. And I sent him three different sources on that. Three. Two are, well, two videos from Andrew Branca, who specializes in the law of self defense and this kind of stuff. And Andrew said that he went to the immigration court, and the immigration court ruled that he was a member of MS 13. And the only reason he wasn't deported is because he was a member of MS 13, and that they had to find another country where he could be sent to where MS 13 rivals would not seek retaliation. Andrew Branca did two separate videos on that. And Andrew Branca also did a video on the Alien Enemies Act and said the Alien Enemies Act, the president and the president alone decides. He said the Supreme Court in 1948 ruled that the alien use of the Alien Enemies Act was non-judiciable, meaning no lower court in the whole country had any jurisdiction over it, and that once the Alien Enemies Act is invoked, you get asked four questions. Are you over 14? Are you a citizen of this country? Or are you a citizen of another country? Is the way it's worded. And there's two more questions. And if all four of those questions are yes, you're deported. There is no other court review or anything. Yeah. And he also said, what do you want me to do? Bring him back in a bottle of water? I was laughing when he said that. And Megan Kelly yesterday did a whole hour on Garcia, and she said anyone that tells you he is not MS 13 is lying. She said two separate courts. He's not married. That's the whole thing. People keep saying his wife. He never married her. In 2019, his state of residence was living with his fiance. And oh no, he is not. And I sent JR source after source, video clip after video clip, and when he was doubling down on that Pam Bondi and Stephen Miller and all these people were lying, I shut it off. I'm not going to sit there and watch all that when I know for a fact it's true because I did my research. We talked about this several times, and I thought this is behind me, right? Because Trump is right. See, something that JR is missing is that because the Alien Enemies Act was invoked, no lower court has any jurisdiction because the Alien Enemies Act says the president and the president alone decides. Yeah, his video yesterday when I checked the likes and dislikes at 7 minutes in, there was already 10 dislikes. He would lose a bunch of followers if he keeps down this road like this. I'm not one cheering for anyone to lose followers or anything like that. I'm just stating as a matter of fact because Trump people will not tolerate a YouTuber bashing Donald Trump or his administration. And what really ticked me off is he started the stream yesterday saying that he is a Trump supporter, but and pointed to Pam Bondi and Stephen Miller and a couple others and said, these people are lying to you and I will prove it. It's like, what the hell? What are you saying? Can't say stuff like that on video because all that would take is for one person to send that video to Stephen Miller or to Pam Bondi, and JR would be in a whole lot of trouble. I don't want that kind of trouble on anybody. Right. He was not a U.S. citizen. And his plea for um, asylum was denied because he entered the U.S. in 2011 and you have 1 year from your date of entry to file for asylum. He filed in 2019. Gone, right? Oh, no. There is no proof to that. None. There's no proof that he was given refugee status. Refugee status does not make you a citizen. Biden was a wet noodle anyhow. Right. That's completely right. And how JR bought into that whole lie is beyond me, unless he's back to listening to CNN. He used to listen to Fox and CNN. I don't listen to hardly any of them. And once the Alien Enemies Act was enacted and MS-13 was listed as an international terrorist organization, anyone associated with MS-13 has to go. Right. Because they do take care of their prisoners. They're not given a bunch of luxuries like we give our prisoners, but they're made to work, which we used to do, but we don't anymore. Right. And they are working on building five more. I liked this new president of El Salvador because he said that El Salvador used to be the murder capital of the world. He said until we started putting the gang members in jail for life, and now it's the safest country on earth. I thought, wow, that's saying something. You know what I mean? And something else that JR isn't taking into account, they Pam Bondi and them, they know stuff that they can't tell us because she invoked state secrets when dealing with Judge Boasberg. That means that they cannot tell the judge or anyone involved in that suit anything that would amount to a state secret. Ukele, yeah, Ukele. Yep, I liked that too. And something else. Uh, Trish Regan talked about this last night. That media leaker was listed on the Signal chat um, list. So now they're wondering if he wasn't the one that switched out the phone numbers, because I think this is my summation. The listing Atlantic was supposed to be Atlantic Command, and that somebody switched the phone number of Atlantic Command to this goofball at the Atlantic paper. I I really am impressed with Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense, because when he signs his orders, it's all in front of the camera. There's no closed doors, behind the scenes deals. Nope. He looks right at the camera, says, "This is the order I'm going to sign. This is what it says. This is what it does. This is what it means," and he signs it. Every other Secretary of Defense has done all of that stuff in private. Good. They should not have gotten rid of him to start out with. It's like my daughter's boyfriend is in boot camp at Great Lakes for the Navy. And her and I got into it a little bit, nothing serious, because it's my belief from having been in the service that women should not go to the front lines. Oh, you would be surprised. Um, how the reason why I say women should not go to the front lines is because as a soldier, it's your responsibility. If your buddy, let's say, gets blown in half, you have to pick up what's left of him and carry it off of the battlefield. We leave nobody behind. Also, on the front lines, they carry a 100-pound pack and a 50-pound radio, and then their machine gun is another 50 pounds. So they have to be able to carry 200 pounds. Oh, when I was in, we did PT every day. We had to march 5 miles in the morning. We had to run at noontime, which I didn't mind. We had to march to every meal and then back to the barracks. So your first husband was a corpsman, huh? Balboa Hospital, San Diego. Yeah, they make you put your social security number and um, your company number on everything. It's so stupid. Well, in a way, I guess it's not. If you get unalived, they have to have a way to know who you are, right? So he hung it on the towel rack every day so you could see it, huh? Yeah, I heard that too. But Bernie's getting to be kind of a crabby old man. He was at a interview about a week ago, and the interviewer simply asked him a question about something that was going on in the Senate. That's a fair question. The man's a senator. If there's something going on in the Senate, he should know about it, right? He got mad because the guy who asked him that question said the interview's over. I didn't come here to talk inside baseball. All the Democrats, I think, have USAID money. Look at Crockett. 2 years ago, when she came to the House, she couldn't afford to pay her first month's rent on her apartment in DC. Now she's worth $9 million. A week or so, like 2 weeks ago or something, she bought a $5 million estate in Houston. Where did she get that money? She makes $200,000 a year as a representative. That is not enough money to afford a $5 million estate. You notice since that popped up, she's been kind of quiet. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, AOC is the same way. I tried. I told one of my friends. I said, "Well, when AOC first got elected, she was not much to look at. She was kind of flat chested. And now, man, she got a figure on her that won't quit. That came from somewhere. Yeah, she claims to be against insider trading, but is she really? See, this corruption fills the Democrat Party. And there are some in the Republican Party that are corrupt, but in the Democrats, it's the whole party. Yep. Fannie, Leticia, Jasmine, Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany Henyard is fallen. Fannie and Leticia are starting to fall, along with Jasmine. Yeah, when they first started talking about Dalton, Illinois, I said, "Oh man, let's see what's going on in Dalton," because my aunt used to live in Dalton years ago. And I started watching that. It's like, man, what is this mess? Right? What a mess, right? Yeah, Stacey Abrams too. I think the whole Democratic Party is getting ready to implode on itself because they really don't have a deep bench like we do on our side. They just don't have. We got 14 people listening on X. Welcome. Drop on over to Sapphire Ridge News on YouTube and leave a comment. Tell us where you're watching from. Right. No more huge, endless USAID pockets. Pockets. You know, Judge Boasberg, they need to impeach him already. He's a tyrant with a black robe. They busted a whole bunch of people last week and the week before. Bunch of cartel members took a bunch of drugs off the street. She was in, uh, I think, Fort Lauderdale last week. This week, Tuesday, she was. I think it was Tuesday. She was in Atlanta. Well, that will take time. See, they say the wheels of justice move slow. It takes time. I know sometimes we get impatient and want it done right now, but sometimes doing it right now urgently will cost them the case later on. Well, that's all I got for you today. I'm going to get off of here. They've been working on my street out front. They're going to finally pave my street. I've been living here 2 years and it's been a gravel road in town. Well, I know they're pissed off at her over this, but I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt because I lived in Florida. I've seen what she's capable of. All right. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Love you guys. Take care. Bye for now.